All In Sports Network. We love sports.
Coming to you from the land of biscuits and barbecue, Lone Stars and Longview. By the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in. We will each be taking a special look at one of the wildcard games this weekend as we do our own preview of a team. We will give you our keys to the game and matchups to watch from the Chargers at Houston and Packers at Eagles. So let's go. All in Colts.
Yes, I'm Kevin. This is my son Liam. We're the Unstable Blues. Happy to present All In Colts as part of the Rogue Media Sports Network. Always weirds me out whenever you're right here. I mean, I love you. I'm going to miss you because, this is your last week with us.
It is, yeah. I'll be in college next time.
Yep. So we need to start off.
Colts corner bulletin.
Oh, you want me to go?
No, I just don't know it.
Oh, here we go. My bad.
The first two defensive coordinator candidates have been announced as former 49ers defensive coordinator and Panthers head coach in 2022, Steve Wilks, and freshly fired Bengals defensive coordinator Lou
Anarumo.
There you go.
Yep. Chris Ballard's end of the year press conference was rescheduled after he was sick, as we mentioned, for Friday. That would be today at 9 a.m. our time. So after this episode already goes live. So by the time this actually shows up, this episode that we're recording right now, sorry. By the time he actually shows up, because he's always late, and then he talks about how close they are, and it's his fault, and Anthony knows he's got to do better, and they like their guys, and they all are going to work hard this offseason. This episode will already go live.
Yes.
So if he says anything besides what we just said that we should comment on, we will make a special episode about what he says, but pretty sure we kind of covered it already. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. If Nate Atkins or James Boyd asked how the Colts fans can trust Ballard or what needs changed, we ask that question.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you to those guys for opening up their social media forum for anyone and everyone. We wanted to keep it classy. I'm sure there's we didn't dig through a bunch of comments, but I'm sure there's a bunch of disgruntled fans in there as well. There should be, but we wanted to keep it classy, but also pointed, and we can trust those two guys to get that done.
Yes.
So I chose to follow the Chargers. You picked the Eagles.
Yep.
So we will go through our normal preview format just for each of those individual teams.
Yes. We're gonna go key, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go one game, keys to the game, matchups to watch, and then are we doing the all-in player
to watch prediction,
and then we'll switch to the other person.
Yeah.
So you want to go first, or you want me to?
You do normally go first. I allow you to go first, so I don't steal anything. I'm not gonna steal anything this time because I'm doing an entirely
you
different
go
game.
first.
All right, okay, here we go. I'll try to keep it brief.
Yeah.
But it is an entire NFL game.
It is true.
And keys to the game, I got to start off with this one because I never get to say this. I always save it for you. Run the ball and keep running the ball.
Fits well for Jim Harbaugh.
Yes. This is all based around the Chargers. So this is from the Chargers' perspective, just like we normally do for the Colts. This is for the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
So J.K. Dobbins should be back. He's still listed as questionable. He'll be back. This is Jim Harbaugh football. And then at the same time, also Jim Harbaugh football, stop the run on defense. Joe Mixon is one of the top weapons that Houston has on offense on that side of the ball. So make CJ Stroud beat you. As always, protect the ball. Take the ball. Houston loves to take the ball, so make sure you protect that rock. Double Nico Collins. That's the other main weapon. And so if you double him, stop the run, should be in a pretty good spot for your offense to have success from your defense.
Yep.
Complementary football.
Yep.
So important. Have a plan for Dalton Schultz, though. Also, that is like the third best weapon and sneaky, good at finding space, good quality tight end. So
I do think it is kind of crazy. Just point out, we normally slack and hark on Houston, but I'm gonna say this real quick as like a true compliment to Houston. Hold on. Whew.
bless you.
We're good. Okay. As a true compliment to Houston,
Mhm.
the fact that you were injured and you still have Joe Mixon, Nico Collins, and Dalton Schultz.
Bless you again.
Goodness.
Oh, man.
Sneezes.
That rain.
Yeah, it is the rain.
Yeah.
But the fact that you still have those three after losing Stephon and Tank Dell on your offense just proves how well you actually did in the offseason.
Yeah.
I believe if everyone was still healthy, they would be a much higher seed than they are now. I could see them as a 3. I don't know about being a 2, beating out Buffalo, but
Yeah.
those top 3 seeds are definitely like up there and
Yeah.
really good. But just how well Houston did do in the offseason, that the fact that it's coming around that you still have really, really solid players for
Yeah.
the playoffs.
And of course, Houston will always use that. Those players, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins for a little bit being out as the excuse of why people are dogging on them now.
Gotta perform no matter what.
Exactly. Screen passes and quick game from Herbert is a must.
Yep.
This can be such a valuable resource for him. Getting that ball out of his hands quick into the playmaker's hands helps with some of those with that protect the ball issue.
Yeah.
And then let's see, protect Herbert from Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. They are a terror on the outside. Houston fans like to point that out all the time, how great their ends are. But so you got to protect off the edges there. A good run game can certainly help with that. And then I'm going to bring up some clock management things here. This, I believe, is a key to many games, but even heightened in the playoffs. Time of possession in general. You want to make sure you win the time of possession. And then what I call the middle 8 minutes. A lot of times we call that the double whammy.
Yep.
The last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half. Win the middle 8, and then the first 4 and the last 4. So 16 minutes that you really want to make sure that you win.
Yeah.
If you can start off fast and control the middle 8 minutes between the two halves, and then make sure that you control the last 4 minutes of the entire game, you're in a pretty good spot if you can do those 3 things really well.
Yeah.
From a clock management standpoint.
I'd agree there.
Ready for the matchups to watch?
You and me.
All right. Khalil Mack versus Joe Mixon.
Yep.
Big
one.
See, I don't know if I need to do a whole lot of explanation. Some of these, obviously, if you know NFL football, you should know these. Derwin James versus CJ Stroud's eyes. I'm going to say the game planning, because he's the strong safety, so he's generally down maybe more in the box a little bit more, but you got to be able to feel that and read that.
Yep.
And Derwin is coming off of a game where he was the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, I believe. So that serves him well going into playoffs, which is exactly what I said and why I picked the Chargers. I want to see a team hitting their stride right now. J.K. Dobbins versus Henry Toto and Aziz Al-Shire. Obviously, we talk about all the time. It's the lineman's job to take care of the defensive line. It's the running back's job to take care of that second level, and then they can explode from there.
Yep.
Ladd McConkey versus Jeff Okudah, I believe, is going to be the matchup there. And then on the other side, I believe it's going to be Quentin Johnston versus Derek Stingley Jr. Quentin Johnston from Temple, Texas, right down here. Actually met somebody who went to high school with him not too long ago. Yeah. And then the other receiver, Joshua Palmer versus Kamari Lassiter, I believe, in the slot. Kamari Lassiter being the second string since Jalen Petrie from Baylor is out. So he would be, in my opinion, rookie, the one to exploit in some way. So whether that is getting Ladd lined up in the slot against him, or if you like your matchup against Joshua Palmer, or if you want to take him on a, inside go route with Quentin Johnston kind of being the down the field threat. Use that matchup well. I'm going to just say the offensive lines versus the defensive lines, the trenches, the line of scrimmage, Jim Harbaugh, football. That's it. And then some coaching matchups, as you know, I like Jesse Minter versus Bobby Slowick. That would be the defensive coordinator who was with Jim at Michigan that he brought aboard, and Bobby, who's Slowick has been with Houston the past couple years now. And then, of course, Jim Harbaugh versus DeMeco Ryans. A lot of coaching experience on both sides. Definitely more head coaching experience from Jim Harbaugh, more experience in these kinds of moments at multiple levels. So that's why I believe it serves the Chargers well. My all-in player to watch, Justin Herbert.
All right.
I was going to say J.K. Dobbins. There were a few different ones I was playing around with. But I decided to go with Justin Herbert specifically because of his decision making.
Okay.
I don't know. I think he's only been in one playoff game that I remembering.
And
hasn't had a ton of playoff experience.
Lost that one.
Yeah. But he's had big moments in big games. I think of several years ago, I think it was 21 when it was the last game of the season, which was pretty much like a playoff game. And they took the Raiders into overtime, and he had come up with like fourth down crazy conversions and was able to pull that out. So want to see the moment not be too big for him, Justin Herbert.
I like it.
So my prediction: Chargers 27, Houston 13.
All right, so Chargers winning. I like it. I like it. Okay.
All right, back to you.
Yep.
You have the
Green Bay Packers playing in Philly against the Eagles.
From the Eagles' perspective.
All right.
Keys to the game.
Yes, keys to the game. Run the ball and keep running the ball. You have the best running back in the league as of right now. Use him. And I would say it's against a weaker defensive line that Saquon has seen all year. Yes, they met in week 1. I believe it was the second game of the season.
Yep. First Friday game.
First Brazil,
Brazil
game.
Yeah.
Lots of different firsts there.
Yep.
Saquon made a mess of the Packers then. He's got to do it now. I'm going to take yours, protect the ball, and take the ball. I'm kind of naming the 3 big things here. Protect the ball, take the ball. Obviously, you win the turnover battle. Even more likely to win the game. The only time I would not say this is if Matthew Stafford was on the other side of the ball, as we saw earlier this year. And thirdly, time of possession. Win that. And the Eagles are really, really good at time of possession. One time they almost what's it called? They led a drive that almost lasted the whole quarter. Like, it was insane. Their clock management skills are great with I would say, veteran quarterback as of right now. Jalen Hurts, with his playoff experience and such.
Yeah.
With him being able to control the clock, you have such a good running game with Saquon, but not only Saquon, with Gainwell as well as the second back. So those definitely. I'm gonna touch more on Saquon because he is the offensive threat. You have to use him in both.
AJ Brown?
hold on. I'm getting there.
Devontae Smith?
I'm getting there. You have to use him in the running game
Goddard?
and receiving game. And using him in that opens it up for everything else. Opens it up for the A.J. Brown deep shots that, A.J. Brown loves to have.
Oh, I see.
Opens it up for the medium range or short range Devontae Smith, the out routes to Goddard, whatever it is, or the running ability of Jalen Hurts. If you can get Saquon going, either one, you just use Saquon and win the game, or two, you open up so much other stuff. On the defensive side of the ball, Cooper DeJean needs to lock up who Packers. Who are the receivers right now? Watson's out. He has an ACL injury.
Yep.
The Packers are just so beat up. I don't know. Like, you were talking about Chargers hitting their stride going into the playoffs. The Packers are on the down going into the playoffs. They just lost to the Bears for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, but they didn't have anything to play for either.
Yeah.
So you question the effort.
They did. They could have got the 6 seed.
Oh, okay.
And also, the history with them and the Bears, I don't think they'd want to lose that. It was a close game, but Bears fans were really happy. But the Packers are so beat up right now, so just exploit them where they're weak. They're weak in the receivers, so make them throw the ball. They have a good running back in Josh Jacobs. Stop him. I don't know if it's Jordan Love or Malik Willis. As of right now, I believe Love is healthy.
I believe so. Yeah.
So I
think
would.
There's actually
more
questions on the Hurts side.
Yeah. Hurts is also healthy, I believe. But if not, they can roll with Pickett. I'd be confident for this game. Now, matchups to watch. First off, I'm going to start A.J. Brown versus Jair Alexander.
Is Jair even in?
I think so. I mean, he was a little bit. I don't know. He may not be. If that is the case, I don't know how they're going to do. See, you had a good game choosing this first one, Chargers Houston. It could go either way. I'd say Houston is more the underdog, but this game is just like if the Eagles don't win this, it's shocking because of how many injuries the Packers have sustained. Not even because they're a bad team, just because of how many injuries they have.
I said a couple days ago yesterday in our. I said that they would be better served with Malik Willis, I believe, at quarterback. Yeah, I think the system fits better for what they might need to do in that game.
More matchups. One being what's his name? Cooper DeJean. I believe is their number one corner as of right now. I believe he's over Quignon, whichever one.
Two rookies.
Yeah. Whichever one of those is the number one versus what's his name, Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah.
And then Blankenship, the safety for the Eagles, against what's his name, Jalen Reed, because Reed likes to run those deeper routes, use his speed to get over top. Don't let that happen. Don't let them take the top off of you. And that's where there's so many players that are injured, so I don't have many matchups. Other than, and I'll finish the matchups off with a coaching. Because you always like that.
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni versus Matt LaFleur, who has the better scheme for the team, for the opposing team, who executes their game plans the best. And then for my all-in player to watch, can it be anyone else but Saquon Barkley?
You're probably right.
If the Eagles can get Saquon moving, I believe they still win the game. But it's just harder to win if your best offensive weapon and probably offensive player of the year isn't working or not, getting the job done.
Yeah.
I mean, he got an extra week of rest and didn't break a record so that he could work this week. My prediction, I'm going to say 35-17 Eagles win.
All right. Even more convincing than that first game because probably the beat up thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense. Well, that's it for this week. That's all we got. We will be back next week with our recap of both of those games and then the Colts Corner episode as we make our off-season calls and track the news. I believe we're going to go in-house free agents this next week. We'll also have our unstable pick 4 predictions as the playoff field is narrowed, and our preview of next week.
Yep. This is Liam,
And this is Kevin.
reminding you to stay all in cold.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.